Heavenly Father, I thank you with all my heart for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for your delivering me from the life of stealing and transforming my heart. You changed my desires. You gave me integrity. I also praise you for standing with me during the storm of false accusations, for being my defender when I was innocent, but treated as guilty. You cleared my name and you kept me strong. You are my vindicator, my protector, and my peace, and my provider. I give you all the glory for all my freedom, both from the past and from injustice. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Hallelujah. Amen.
It's a different kind of beautiful. The kind that starts with the soul inside and shows outside. That's real life. It's a different kind of beautiful. The one that starts with the glow inside that shines the light of Christ. It's a different kind of beautiful. The type that starts with the love inside that blows your mind, and that's alright. Look at me, look at you, look at us being born again. Jesus took away our sin.
Hey, hey, hey! Hallelujah, my people. Thank you for coming to another segment of A Different Kind of Beautiful, where I share testimonies of God getting me through the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the uglies, everything. Let me tell you, this is getting ready to be a story. Oh, yeah. I'm going to try to make it less than an hour, but I doubt if that happens. You feel me? So we're going to start with everybody starts off when they're young. You know, I'm not even sure how I learned how to become a thief. But I did. So I'm going to start when I was like maybe 5 years old. Used to live in Topeka, Kansas, down on Lincoln Street, off of 17th, I believe. That's 17th Street. And there was a corner store that we used to go to all the time. And I remember going up there, and the thing is, I had money. I just didn't have enough money to get what I wanted. I believe it was Laffy Taffies that I wanted. And I had stole it. I got in trouble. Of course, I got a whooping. And this is when, you know, it's weird because I remember sneaking out my mother's window, which was the house, was her house. And I snuck out the window and I went with my brother up there, and I just was putting stuff in my pocket, and I didn't get caught by the person at the store. I got caught when I got home, and my mom found all this stuff, and she was like, how you get all this candy? You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is when the trust boundary started to be a problem. Because my mom said, just tell her, and then she wouldn't whoop me. You know, black mothers. I think that was just a pure setup. So anyway, I ended up getting my butt whooped for not only sneaking out the window, but stealing. And I ain't trust my mom no more. I ain't trust her for nothing. But to tell you the truth, I don't believe I even had a problem taking anything after that. It was when I was 13 years old that the thief occurrence came about again, and I wanted these ripped jeans from, I believe, Dillard's in Richmond, Virginia. I was 13 years old. I remember it because we was getting ready to go to school, and I wanted to be like Salt and Pepper, and everybody else was getting them ripped jeans. Y'all remember them ripped jeans? I don't even think it was Salt and Pepper back then, but they had the ripped jeans, they had the zippers on it, and it was stonewashed. And I don't even know how I got it past my mama, to honestly tell you. I think I just threw it in the bag when she was looking. And boy, when we got to the parking lot and she got to looking through the bags for some reason, I don't know when she was looking for my training bras. Matter of fact, we went shopping for training bras and all kinds of stuff, but I wanted them jeans. And I believe I got in trouble for that too. I was on punishment and couldn't talk on the phone and couldn't go nowhere, you know what I'm saying? And as time went on, I didn't do too much stealing until I got to, I guess I was about to go to college. And I got a job at Toys R Us. And I wanted this keyboard. I didn't want the toy keyboard. I wanted the kind that they had at my school, which was the George Wolf High School for the Arts. Okay, so they had these big, Sony, Yamaha. You could record your songs, record your beats, record different, things, different instruments on different tracks. And so I literally only got a job there so I can get one, but I didn't want to wait till the end of the summer to get it. And so, matter of fact, it was the end of winter because I got a job and I didn't go to school until January of 1998. I didn't go to Virginia State. And so I had this jacket that had a hole in it. And in the time of transitioning where they put the money in a bag and taking it to the office, I put the money in my jacket in the hole. And so they had no proof that I had it. I actually got in the back room with the police, and they was trying to get me to tell on myself, which eventually I did. They couldn't find the money, so they couldn't prove it. They was trying to figure out who I gave it to. I ain't give it to nobody. So anyway, I end up going to court for that, and my mom got it dismissed or whatever. I think she eventually gave the money back or paid for it or something. And I got off. And that was it for a minute. Then I got with one of my homegirls, Crystal, in college, and guess what? She was a kleptomaniac. And me and her, we linked up in Virginia State and the music department, and she became my partner in crime. And so we were stealing everything from Tommy Hilfigers, Movado, you name it, Guess, Timberlands, Nike, Jordans. We would go in with like our old shoes and put the old shoes in the new shoe box and be out with the new shoes on our feet. It was crazy. And then one time I didn't want to steal, but she was stealing, but I didn't know she was stealing. She didn't put me up on guy. And we got both pulled in the back of Sears up in, I think it was, what is the name of that mall? I can't think of the name of that mall. But it's basically up there in Petersburg, Virginia. It's the only mall that everybody go to. Can't think of the name of it. Matter of fact, I could look it up. Let's see here. Mall in Petersburg, Virginia. South Park Mall. That's exactly what it was called. So anyway, we got caught. I had a little boyfriend from Panama, and he actually came to pick me up. I didn't get booked in, but she got booked in because I didn't have anything. I told them I didn't have anything, but they locked me up anyway, but they let me out, and my boyfriend came to get me out of the jail, and he was so mad at me. He broke up with me. He was like, "What you stealing for? I can get you anything you want, and you making me look bad as a man." Da 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 da. Anyway, we got back together eventually because he was just so cute. We made a cute little couple. He was the shortest dude ever. He was from Panama, but he was cute. And as time went on, I actually went to one of the stores on Virginia State campus. And it was a corner store with a Chinese store, and Chinese people owned the store. Now, I had, money, and I had my receipt. But for some reason, the Chinese man thought I stole something because his wife said I stole something. So she came at me while I was in my car. And I actually get out the car, and he tried to stab me with a pen. So I took the pen and I swooped him off of my car because I grabbed his leg and swooped him. And he fell on his back on the ground. And, I started to kick him because I told him, I paid for my stuff. I got the receipt right here. They called the police on me. I gave them a fake name. I got locked up again, but I got out of that because, again, I proved to the magistrate I had my receipt. And, I had money, so I had no reason to steal. So I proved my innocence that time. And I'm snapshotting this because pretty much those ain't the stories that I'm going to get to. Time went on. I really wasn't really into stealing much. I was a pen thief. Like, if I wanted pens, I got like a whole lot of pens and pencils because I was my writer. And I was really interested in things. I might steal a book here and there. And I would steal from places where people wouldn't even think their book would be gone, like facilities that, nobody's ever going to look for that book because it's basically for decoration, and I knew it was for decoration. And I just wanted the knowledge. I wanted to understand some things, so I used to steal books and pens. And I did it, just because I could get away with it. And time went on. And it got to this point where I was like, well, I don't really like stealing. So I stopped stealing. I got filled with the Holy Spirit when I was like 21. And, the Holy Spirit started convicting me. And so I started working at this place called Verizon. And I was working there for quite a long time. I want to say from 2003 to, almost 2012? Well, no, it was 2008, 9, 10. 2010. So 2003 to like 2010, I was working there. And so I rented a car once upon a time from Thrifty. And I had problems with the lady because, I don't know why. But I turned the car in when I was supposed to, and it was paid for. And in the meantime, I was going through a lot with my first husband. Getting a divorce by 2000, and I believe that was 2008, 2009, something like that. And I had rented a car around that time. So, rented the car, returned the car. I was living with one of my homeboys' brothers in their townhouse. Okay, so I was living in the basement, and his brother and his brother's wife lived upstairs. It was more like a full townhouse. So when I say basement, it didn't even look like a basement. It looked like an apartment downstairs. I had everything access downstairs in the townhouse, which was right around the corner from my little part-time job on the weekend at, I believe that was Chili's, as a waitress. And at this time, I'm just like, this is really crazy. I'm pretty much not happy because I'm with this guy, and he's in prison. He's in and out of jail. He can't get it together. My homeboy keep on coming to see me, but I really got a crush on my homeboy, but my homeboy is playing games with my mind. So I'm just like, I'm out here going crazy because I'm practically homeless. If I didn't have a place to stay, I was going to, going through a lot because my husband had gotten in jail, and I was back and forth from Topeka, Kansas to Richmond, Virginia. And so this in particular time, I literally was getting ready I got a divorce. I ended up getting with this other guy. We're going to call him the realist. He was a poet. I'm going to tell y'all this whole story because it's important. So my cousin, Shamika, comes from Oklahoma, and she wants to go out and hang out and stuff, but, I'm really sanctified, holified, and I don't do no clubbing and stuff like that. And since I don't do any clubbing, I told her, I know some places we can go that's really nice, like they had live jazz, live poetry, and I believe the place was called The Spot. I'm going to look it up. But it was poetry spot in Richmond, Virginia. In RVA. No, it's going to pop up. Alright. Let's see what they got here. It might not be up and running, but it used to be when I was there. Let's see. I don't know nothing about these places. I wish I could have went to these places. Top 10 poetry spots in Richmond, Virginia. They don't got nothing like this here in Topeka, Kansas. I really do. Miss RVA, Richmond, Virginia. I don't think they got it no more, y'all. But anyway, the point is, I took my cousin to the place that used to be on 2nd Street. And they had live jazz band, they had live band, they had the poetry, they had the drinks. And we grown, okay? We like 27, 28, both of us around that time, yeah. So we're like, we're going to go have a good time and chill. We park outside of the spot, and we said we're going to play a little game. And the game was, you call the dudes that I like to the car, and I'm going to holler. You introduce me to them. And vice versa. You call the guys that you like to the car, I'm going to introduce you to them. And that's how me and her was running game up in Richmond, VA on 2nd Street. Yeah, every guy that she called, was, I guess, a pianist, or they played the drums, or they, they were in the band. And every dude that I called was a minister. And this is just off the rip. And so I found it interesting as one guy comes to the door, and at this time my discernment is really high because I'm fasting and I'm praying a lot in the Holy Spirit, and I'm seeking the Lord a lot. A lot of my dreams are very vivid, and my discernment so high, I hear God clear. And so I called this guy because he was cute, but not necessarily to talk to him. But I wanted to let him know that God had, wanted to use his mouth to preach the gospel. And he was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And for some reason, it was a weird connection. Now, I've seen this young man several times. We've spoken, and he's an activist, and he's a poet, and he's well known. But I don't know all of that, and he don't know nothing about me. But I'm also working at what do you call it? A studio slash gospel store part time, and record my first gospel album, which later on I'm going to actually have it remastered and relaunched, because by then I do believe that I will have a deal on telling my life story. That's why I'm not going to give all the details here. Time goes on. I start dating this guy, the realist, and he's my best friend. I'm in love. He's marketing, he's promoting me, he's giving me all the accolades, he's showing me, the utmost respects. He's showing up. I'm not giving him no play. My cousin keeps on hooking me up with him. Somehow they got together, and she was like, he's a good guy. He got one child. I know you don't want to date nobody with a child. I'm like, girl, he is 8 years younger than me, and he has a child. She was like, but he got a car and a job, and he's an activist, and he's cute, and he really likes you. Da da da. Cousins, y'all, cousins. And so, one day we go to Barnes and Noble for a open mic poetry, and they put me on the list to sing. So I get up there to sing, and this little boy is just like stalking me through the whole store, and me and my cousin are up there just laughing and joking, because I'm like, girl, he is 12. In my mind, that's what I see, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, but look at him, he looks so cute, like the Shy Brother thing on the heartbeats, the 5 heartbeats. He looks so cute, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So the show was over. I did my song. He did his poem. I was on my way out the door, and he walked up to me, and he was like, hey, can I have a moment with you? And other people were coming up to me at the same time they were coming up to him, and we literally looked at each other, and it's like everybody disappeared. And I was like, oh wow, I never experienced this before. Like, ooh, everybody just like, we couldn't even hear them, and they trying to get our attention, but we talking to each other. And then at that moment we both said, okay, let's just deal with these people that's behind us real quick, because there were people behind him and there was people behind me. So we literally turned our backs to each other and handled our paparazzi. And because we both had fans, and people wanted to congratulate us, get our connects, invite us to the next show. And people are really into you there. They will show it. They will show they love. And that's one thing about Richmond, Virginia I do miss, is the community of support. And so we turned right back around and looked at each other, and again everybody disappeared. He was like, look, do you mind if I walk you to your car? And I was like, yeah, you can walk me to your car. And I told him I wrote him a poem, and the poem was called I See Innocence in Your Eyes. I wish I had that poem with me. I know it's in there somewhere. But again, I can't tell y'all everything. And he was like, oh, well, I want you to share that with me whenever you get a chance. Mind y'all, this is like a genius young man. This is not a regular dude. Okay, he's a nerd slash activist slash genius. I'm sitting here looking at this man, and I'm starting to like him because he's so smooth. He's smooth. And so he walked me to my car, and asked me out, on a date, and give him a chance. He young, but He's mature or whatever. So I gave him a chance. And the rest is history. He started promoting me and marketing me. I got my own show. He introduced me to some people, and I started going to this place where it was what was it? Spoken word of grace, and introduced me to Joe Monroe. As time went on, I became very connected to Apostle Pharrell and Evangelist Rita Williams and another lady I will not mention that became very close. I probably will have to meet with her face to face to forgive her completely because she was somebody I really helped on phone ministry and evangelism, and she pretty much hurt me. Probably was the first person that hurt me in the ministry, because she was just using me and she wasn't even giving me my accolades. She looked down on me. She didn't what she was doing. I don't even know why she was doing what she was doing besides getting her fame together. But anyway, we ain't gonna get off her. Time goes on. I'm working at Verizon. He's bringing me flowers. He's bringing me candy. We're going out to movies. We're falling in love. We're in love. The first night that I decided I was going to, be his girlfriend for real. I actually wanted to tell him, leave me alone. I don't want to be with him because he was a Baptist boy. And I said, Baptist boys get you in trouble because they don't walk in the Spirit. And he was like, well, as long as we both know Jesus is Lord, what does it matter? And this was his argument. And I was like, Lord, this is really hard because my lust is like on 1,000. Okay? Because he's 28. I'm 28 and he's 20 years old. So this is really, blowing my mind right now. Because I'm like, ooh, I don't look my age. So this was one of the things my mother told me that I was going to have to deal with when I got older. She was like, you're going to have the same issue as I have. I look very young. Younger men are going to try to talk to you. Older men are going to try to talk to you too. But whoever treats you right is who you really want to be with. And so I gave this guy a chance. But when I first kissed him, I heard God say, I was going to pay for this. Lord, and didn't I end up paying for that? And so time went on. I'm still at Verizon. I'm making a lot of money. My fame is going higher and higher. I'm getting TV shows. I'm getting radio shows. It's because of the realist and his connections to other ministries and people that he's connecting me to. However, before I met him, he didn't know I was in the streets as Fire, but I had become Delphiyah. So I had different crowds of people that already was supporting me and was looking forward to hearing me and seeing me. And I was an ordained minister. I had been ordained by I Am International Ministries as an evangelist, and I was already in school at Faith Landmark Bible Institute, get ready to get my doctorates. And man, listen, it was hard trying to be holy with this fine young man. Now, our relationship was more romantic. It was nothing sexual based. When we actually did anything, it was spontaneous. It was never something plotted upon because we were so busy, just being busy, doing poetry, rapping, singing, doing shows. He was going with me. He helped me move. He got his daddy to help me move to my townhouse. And man, he was just there, like the first boyfriend that was really just caring and sharing. Well, as time went on, I became too famous, too popular. I got this place called Harlem Cafe where it had 3 floors that I had connected with these guys from Harlem, New York. And they came down there and got a building. And I told them that I was well connected and I knew everybody in the city. And they told me their plan. And they wanted me to pretty much run the place. And they were going to pay me $10,000. I still got the contract to that. I still got the $10,000 contract that they owe me money. And at this time, doing a TV show called Let's Talk About It on a local station, I had people flying, rabbis flying from out of the country to come be on my TV show. I was on, my mic sounds Christ because of his connection. I was doing wow, I was really, really busy back then. And I didn't mind because he was by my side and he was always supportive. Well, time went on and they were saying, people came to me after one of the TV shows and they were telling me that he was against me in every form of fashion and they was talking about me behind my back really bad. Now, it was hard for me to believe, but God was telling me in my prayer closet that he wasn't my husband. And he made me write it down and put it on my wall that he wasn't my husband. But everybody kept on saying that he was my husband. My pastor was saying that he was my husband. Other people was like we were a power couple and we were cute together and we complimented each other. And, you know, it was just a beautiful, thing. And when we were together, it was like we were best friends. Until he met this guy named, Disciple, who had a wife, who he was cheating on, who he was trying to holler at me behind the realest back, and trying to break us up with his dumb tail. But anyway, time went on, and I actually ended up breaking up with him because I found out he was talking about me behind my back. He started a whole church over at the, what was it called? It was called the Real Disciples over in the flea market off of, 9 Mile. I think that was 9 Mile Road. Yeah, 9 Mile Road over there in Richmond, Virginia. And I walked in and I met some girls that he was hollering at behind my back. And they told me that he talked about me like a dog and I'm nothing like how he explains that I am. And it got out of hand where we were doing this back in the day when we used to get on the phone and do Bible studies, and him and another pastor, Robert, I think that Pastor Rob, he was going against Pastor Rob. He was going against everything and everybody. He had got religion and wanted to preach the gospel, but he had not been ordained. This is the problem. He could not go on every platform that I was on. So I can do what I did at Harlem Cafe because, first of all, I knew all the people from Virginia State and my boy that had his own jazz band. So we had on the first floor the live jazz band and an open food bar. On the second floor, we had poetry open mic in the bar, the liquor bar. And on the third floor, we had open mic freestyle for all the rappers. Okay? And so this was a big thing at the Harlem Cafe. My team was called Successful Minds. And I had, DJ Righteous. I had Miss Brown. I had another guy, I can't think of his name, but he was one of the finest poets you're going to meet. And I had my little short guy who did the comedy, and he was also the host for the open mic rappers on the third floor. And my guy, the fine guy, and Miss Brown, she did the open mic on the second floor for me. And like I said, my homies from Virginia State, they did the live jazz downstairs. Mind you, I'm supposed to be paying them eventually because I got a $10,000 contract with these people. So I'm supposed to pay these people with the money that the people from New York, Harlem, supposed to be paying me. Well, come to find out, since my fiance was tripping, and for some reason he running up on in strip clubs and running up in the places that we used to go and do poetry and trying to condemn everybody to hell, because I guess they were on some path of the what was it? What do you call them? Apocalyptics or something. I don't really know what they call themselves, but they were doing too much. They didn't got in the news for getting locked up and getting out and in the newspaper. And then I found this website they had. And on the website, they didn't believe in praying in tongues. They didn't believe miracles was for the day. They didn't believe in fasting and praying. So basically everything that I believed in, now he's coming against it. Behind my back now, y'all. Now, God already told me in my prayer closet he wasn't the one, but I'm in love, right? I messed up because everybody's saying this is the man for me. So I got prophets that's supposed to be way more clairvoyant, hearing God better than me, telling me that this is my husband. Okay? So in this case, I had to look at the Bible where the young prophet ended up dying because he listened to the older prophet who said he heard the angel say that he should come and eat when he wasn't supposed to eat. He was supposed to fast until he got where he got. Well, I got murdered for listening to them. Broke my heart to millions of pieces because I ended up breaking up with him while I was working at Verizon. And the reason why I left Verizon because I was being sexually harassed by some guy that they hired that was just really against my man. He was just like always making all these compliments about me and wanting to get with me. Well, I end up leaving Richmond, Virginia altogether because my mother was I believe she was having a hip surgery, and she wanted me to come down there. But in the meantime, my grandfather had passed away, and I was trying to get down to my grandfather's funeral in 2010. So I did a fundraiser without GoFundMe, without everything. I was just letting everybody know I was trying to get home to my grandfather in the worst ice storm of 2010 in February. This is after I broke up with him. And God showed me who his wife was. As a matter of fact, he's married to her right now, and I believe they got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. I'm not sure. I don't follow him. I don't know nothing about him. But last time I seen him, he was married to her and had a little boy and I guess another child on the way. I don't know what the second child is. So I left Richmond, Virginia because the people from Harlem Cafe got fake money in the bar, and the police had to come and get involved, and that was their way of not paying me my $10,000 because they had somebody bring counterfeit money into the bar, and they wanted the list of people, the guests that I had that were coming from DC, New York, California, Missouri. I had people coming from everywhere to this Harlem Cafe. And some people were coming for free. Some people were coming for promotional purposes only. From Atlanta, I'm talking about. I had people coming from everywhere. I was the it girl. Delphiyah was the it girl. And my man was jealous of me. And so I broke up with him, and he told me he didn't love me in any sense of the word. And those words ring in my ear still to this day, that the only man that I truly was in love with told me he didn't love me in any sense of the word. I'm talking about every man. I've been married twice. I didn't love the men more than I love this man. I've had many boyfriends, and I'm telling you, the realest was the only one that I actually was in love with and wanted to be with for the rest of my life. But God said no. because he was Judas. God called him Judas. I'ma call him Judas. So he turned on me like Judas. He gave me a kiss. He kissed me goodbye, man. But moving right along. Here goes the part of when I found out after I went to go bury my Grandpa White, in Topeka, Kansas. I went to his funeral. Everybody had on overalls because he was known to wear his overalls all the time, the jean overalls. And I was happy to know that he had gave his life to Christ before he passed away. He got baptized. They got pictures of it. So I was very happy to know that. And then I went to go stay with my dad for 9 months. Now I just had turned 30. Just to give y'all, I'm not as young as I look. But anyway, I turned 30 years old. I stayed with my daddy for 9 months. I went to go get a job. And this when I found out that this false charge was on my background. I had a misdemeanor. And I was like, how did I get a misdemeanor? And I went and looked, and guess what? It was the rental car that I turned in several years. I had no idea this was on my background check because I had a job the whole time. Didn't have to go find out if I had a background, stuff on my background. And so my stepmother was giving me a hard time and, calling out, inaccuracies on my resume and stuff like that. And I was just like, I thought that was the thing to do, make your resume sound good even if it ain't right. You're just trying to get a job because I just didn't believe nobody called the references in the background check. They don't. Okay? They don't. They do the background check, the criminal background check, but they don't check your jobs and all that. They don't. Okay? And so moving right along, how do I know? Because I was a manager for from 2003 to 2008. Okay? So I know. We do background checks. So anyway, I found out that I had this background and I would go get jobs. And they wanted me to get a job because the plan was I get a job, I save my money, I get my own place. And that would eventually be in Topeka, Kansas because my mom was getting ready to have a surgery on her hip or her back or something. I think it might have been her back. And she wanted me to come down there when the time was. She wanted me to be close. So that's what I did. But every job I got, I was really good at sales. I would make like $700 here, $1,200 there. But then I would get fired because of the background check that comes back. So they got upset with me. My parents got upset with me. I'm sure this is why they got upset with me because I couldn't keep a job. Then my mama took her car away from me, trying to force my dad to make me use his truck, which was a gas guzzler. And this is when I started my entrepreneurship of, coffee and tea, selling coffee and tea with this Organo Gold multi-level marketing thing. Now, there was a guy that got me into it, but he was like legally blind, and he was trying to make me be his girlfriend, and I didn't want to be his girlfriend. And he was pretty much already a millionaire and got mad at me because he thought I was crazy for not trying to be with him because he was rich. And I was like, no, I want to do the business. I don't want the relationship. And he turned around and told my daddy what I told him, and my daddy believed him for a minute. I was like, what? I ain't got nobody got time. I don't want no legally blind dude. I just don't, I just don't want the relationship because I'm brokenhearted over my ex. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no relationship. I'm over here crying and sobbing around this dude right now, okay? Can't be with him. Well, because I'm guessing the reason why I end up being put out of my father's house, he put a letter on my door and told me to go I had to leave in like 3 days. I think it was not even, it was 3 days. Because I think it was a Wednesday and I had to be gone by that Friday. And I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to get this misdemeanor off. So I tried to call the courts and everything. And they told me I would have to come back to Virginia to fix that. And so I won't going back no time soon. So I moved with some preacher, pastor guy who was an alcoholic. I tried to get my life and health insurance license, which I ended up passing and getting my life and health insurance. But the misdemeanor kept me from being with Primerica. So I didn't do Primerica because of the misdemeanor. I couldn't keep a job, but I was making money off of the coffee and the tea. So I moved to Topeka, Kansas. Well, actually, I moved with my great aunt. I got in this choir. I think it was a show choir. I can't think of the guy's name. Little short, round, fat guy with bald head dude, and he was very popular in Missouri, and he had a little choir, and I enjoyed it, and I met some really cool people in that choir or whatever. But I went to go stay with my great aunt, but she was senile, and she kept on clogging up the toilets with paper towels, and she blamed it on me. And I was gone for a whole week, but I did it. So I ended up I was sleeping in her basement a lot and praying a lot back then. So I knew I wasn't going to be there long because she was senile or whatever. She was all the way up in her 80s. Her name was Aunt Quilla. And so Aunt Quilla put me out. My little brother, Marlon, came to get me in a moving truck and moved me on down to my mom's house in Topeka, Kansas. So this is where I went to go get my CNA and my CMA. And in the meantime, I'm still seeking the Lord. I'm dealing with my mom who has a bingo addiction and a casino addiction. And, she's pretty much taking all my money from the little temp agency job to use her car. And she's forcing me to go get my CNA and my CMA license so I could take care of her because she didn't want no nurse to take care of her. Well, the governor, for some reason, I don't remember why, but he took away the rights of people getting paid to take care of their family members, which they had a grant to do that. Well, I didn't get the grant because the governor canceled all them funds for that purposes. So I had my CNA and my CMA, and I went to school for business here in Topeka, Kansas. And I was the valedictorian of my business class. I had already had my business up and running. I was selling my coffee and tea at Walmart, in front of Dollar General, and I think it was Dollar General's and Walmart's, and that's it. And I was making in between $400 to $700, depending on what time I got out there, if it won't raining or not. People was buying coffee and tea, and then I was also getting donations for people that had diabetes at homes, like if they didn't have enough to cover their stuff, I did a fund, and I would take their money to them, and if the money, like if I got too much money, they'll tell me to keep the overflow of the donations that I got for the people with dementia and also diabetes, and I also did it for the kids as well. But my mother came a lot, and she would embarrass me if I gave her only like $20. And I would tell her to stop doing that because, somebody might end up trying to rob me if she keep on doing that. And so I also seen that the enemy was going to use her to get in my way and try to stop me. So I couldn't tell her how much money I was making because she would take every dime of it. Oh my gosh. So I packed all my stuff in the truck and I moved back to Richmond, Virginia. Pretty much because I had to go fix my background check. I had to go fix it. So I thought. So when I got up there, I went to a lawyer, and a lawyer set me up to go to court to appeal this thing. Well, come to find out, it was too late. It was out of the jurisdiction. No, it was too late to appeal. There was a window of appeal, and I didn't appeal. Well, I didn't know I had it, so I couldn't appeal. Well, the court said that I couldn't appeal it. And then I tried to get a pardon from the state governor, but the governor of Virginia was getting locked up for felonies for doing whatever he was doing then. So I couldn't even get my stuff pardoned because he was going to prison. And my God, it was all over the news. It was just so irritating. So I wrote the United States of America Supreme Court, but they told me they couldn't handle it because it was out of their jurisdiction. Oh my God. So I was just like, okay, God, how am I going to do this? I end up moving with my homeboy, Steven, and his girlfriend in this house that should have been like knocked down. But I was there, and basically, first the house was nice. We were living in the south side, but when I moved in, they were like in the attic part, and I was like upstairs, and then downstairs was her husband and some transvestites. So I end up ministering to the transvestites. One of them eventually got his life, gave his life to Christ. He said he wanted to meet his daughter, but he didn't want to meet his daughter as a woman. He wanted to meet his daughter as a daddy, but he had been in prison so long. All he knew was how to be a woman in prison. And so this is when the outreach evangelism start kicking in. But I was just like appalled. I ended up getting in a fight with him. Oh, not the transvestite, but the husband, because he was drunk, and I think he was stealing my stuff. And Steve ended up beating him up, coming down the stairs and beating him up for pushing me. I don't know what he did, but he got his butt whipped for putting his hands on me. Oh my God. One of my homeboys that I had led to Christ wanted to meet with me on the 4th of July, and I went to go visit him, but he was going through something with him and his wife, and I'm gonna have to not tell y'all this part. This gonna be in the book. Y'all gonna have to get the book for that. Fast forward. Anyway, yeah, y'all gonna have to get the book for that. Moving right along. I couldn't get a job to save my life. I couldn't do the coffee and tea because I didn't have a car to get to the events, because they did have Organo Gold everywhere, but I couldn't seem to connect with nobody there. It was very saturated in Richmond, Virginia. It wasn't as saturated in Kansas City, Missouri, where I was building a team. I believe I had at least 4 or 5 people on my team in the multi-level marketing thing. And so God told me not to do it no more because people will come up and rob me if I did what I did in Topeka, Kansas. So I couldn't do it anyway because I didn't have a car to get to there, okay? I couldn't get to the events because there was no buses going to the places the events were being held. All right, so I'm staying with these people, still trying to get a job, walking to job interviews, getting jobs, getting fired, getting jobs, getting fired, living with my friends, basically homeless. Till one day, my friend that does Steve, he's a computer tech. He took me to a funeral home where he was helping one of the guys. When his client was Mr. Lambert, Mr. Robert Lambert, I believe his name is Robert. I don't know. But Richard, sorry. His name is Richard Lambert. Mr. Richard Lambert runs the funeral homes there on the north side of Richmond, Virginia. I'm sure everybody knows Mr. Lambert because he's the one that does all the funerals. So I didn't know who this man was, but he tried me. Okay. He was like, I'll take care of you. You ain't got to work. You can come stay with me and my wife. I was like, are you crazy? Mr. Lambert's funny. I said, Mr. Lambert, I'm not that type of woman. I'll work for my money. You're not going to take care of me. And he was like, well, aren't you the little spicy one? I was like, I'm just saying, I'm not comfortable where I am. But I can't get a job because of this misdemeanor on my background check, and the governor's going to jail, so I can't get a pardon. So I'm having a hard time right now. And he was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Well, I was staying with Steven and his girlfriend. His girlfriend didn't want me living there no more, so she wanted to kick me out. I went to go stay with this lady named Miss Love. I don't even know how I got Miss Love phone number. She knew somebody that knew somebody. And I went to go stay with Miss Love. Me and Miss Love did Bible studies early in the morning. And she was very helpful. I got a phone call from, she helped me get unemployment, and she helped me get food stamps. And that was how I paid my rent for the room. I was giving her my food stamps to put food in the house. And she would let me keep the little money that I had to, maintain. I really couldn't do nothing. I couldn't get a job. And I was looking for jobs for CNA, CMA, but I had to get to the places to do the CMA, CNA work. But I couldn't get there because the buses didn't go to the places where the old people lived. Jesus. I remember walking to an interview in some slides, and I got like some blisters on my foot, and didn't get the job because of the misdemeanor. And I was like, all right, God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. These people trying to, she wants me out by a certain time. I don't got a job. I need your help. So I prayed, and God got Mr. Lambert to call me, and Mr. Lambert said, I got a job opportunity for you. I need you to come work on the weekends to be the weekend nurse, because my nurse that's usually there full time has health issues, and she can only work during the week. But I need you there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll pay you under the table this amount of money. Well, it was perfect amount of money to help me buy a car and get my own apartment. And I went back to school to finish at Faith Landmark Bible Institute. And so that's how God got me out of that situation. Literally was probably the hardest part one of the hardest parts of my life. Living pillar to post is what they call it. But I was very grateful for my friends, they're still my friends to this day, that gave me a place to live, that knew somebody that helped me get out of that. I'm forever grateful to the Lambert family, because they didn't know what I was going through. And the other people I could have reached out to, I did not, because God didn't want me involved with certain people anymore. And so that is pretty much what happened, you guys. I end up going to take care of Mr. Lambert's mother, who was 100 years old. And I pretty much took care of her till she was like 102. And then when she was 102, she went to the I guess it was what you call senior living home. I don't know what y'all call them things. But she went there because basically the other nurse lied on me and said I wasn't doing my job, which I was. I was doing my job better than she was, because I would give her baths morning, noon, and night. I would wash her feet. I put lotion on her feet and her hands and her back. The lady would cry and be like, why you treating me so good? And I'll be like, if it was me, this is how I would want to be treated if I was 100 to 102 years old. And I found out that Mrs. Lambert pretty much was her family, her and her husband and children were the first contracted what do you call it? The first contracted caterers. Let's see here. Yeah, she was the first contracted caterer back then in Richmond, Virginia. So she catered all the events at all of the museums. Excuse the music in the background, yeah. So yeah, so that's the story. And I was taking care of a queen. She didn't talk much. I got video footage of her on Facebook. But I used to take her to the parks. I used to take her to Bible study with me. I used to get her out the house, and that's what she wanted. And until her oldest daughter pretty much fired me because the other lady lied. And a couple of months later, and because she didn't wash her feet and take care of her feet, the lady ended up getting gangrene. I'm talking about Mrs. Lambert. She ended up getting gangrene. They ended up cutting her leg off, and they put her in that senior living place, and that's where she passed away at, which really bothered me. I was late to her funeral because I couldn't find it. I didn't have the right information, but I did show up, and I was crying. It was everybody. It was like millions of people there. Woo! It's crazy. And then the best thing that ever happened to me is in her obituary, it says that the family wanted to thank her her favorite nurse, which was me. Okay, so I'm in the obituary of a wonderful woman where they thank me for taking care of her on the weekends. And so I am forever grateful for that. That is the victory God gave me. I was no longer jobless. I was no longer carless. I was no longer homeless. And I also had finished school and got my own apartment. And that is the story. I hope you guys enjoyed the story today. It is more to come. As you can see, I had to forgive a lot of people. I had a lot of struggle, but I made it. It didn't kill me. The house that we lived in, one of them used to have a shower and the bugs used to bite me. That's why the house needed to be condemned, because the water had bugs in it. Invisible bugs that was biting me. Anyway, that house should have been condemned. Okay. But anyway, I guess they renovated or something. It's still up. Over there on the north side. But God bless y'all. Thank you for coming to another section of a different kind of beautiful. As you can see, even though I had the background check criminal thing, it didn't stop God from blessing me and making a way out of no way. He is a faithful God. He is a trustworthy God. He's a good God. But I had to turn to God and ask for help, because I tried to do everything in my own strength. It did not work. I had to ask God for a favor, and he did it. And I'm grateful, forever grateful. Because now I'm a go-getter for life. And I'm very patient, very kind, I'm very understanding, and I listen very well due to these traumatic issues that I've been through. Anyway, I want to thank the 6 people that have given a donation to my GoFundMe. I believe I'm at $140. Yes, we got a long way to go. However, I got into the end of September to raise it says $1,100. I put $25, but they said I have to start with $1,100. And I am very grateful for those 6 people. I will be leaving the link in my bio if you want to go and support the ministry. Again, I will be putting this money toward releasing new music in October. The song that you hear in the beginning, that will be the first release. And they will be coming out back to back. I believe it's every 3rd Friday. So every third Friday, you'll be getting a new song. I got 7 songs, and it should take us all the way until March 2026. And then I'm going to release the whole album, and by then, I should be shooting my videos. Also, with the podcast, I want to get a studio where I can go visual, where you can see me live with my guest. You know what I mean? So other people are going to give their testimony. I have some people coming that are going to blow your mind with their testimonies. Other than that, I am grateful that you came to listen. God bless you. There is a ministry that I'd like to invite y'all to, but I have to get all the information that I go to. If you want to come, I will get that information and share it next time, or I'll put it in the description of this episode. And if you want to, please go and listen to the other episodes. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I believe in 6 I think this is going to be episode 7. Oh, God, we're getting up there. Now, I got to get 12 for Spotify to start monetizing. And, of course, there's more time that I need to be on before I start getting paid from this podcast. But I've seen other people with their Spotify podcast, and they are already up there. But I'm coming up on them strong, baby. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for listening. God bless you. This is Delphiyah with another segment of A Different Kind of Beautiful. God bless you.